Hey everybody, welcome to New Victory Gardening. I'm Michael. Today got some garden chores. So my hope is to get these 3 garden beds ready so they can sit and rest, and all I'll have to do is fertilize them later and get them planted. And so I have 3 different patches of mustard greens, 2 behind the fence and then some kind of just scattered out in the yard. And it's time to bring all of those in so that we can blanch them and freeze them so that we can have them next winter and through the summer whenever we want to. So just a day of chores. Yeah, wish me the best. I'm not advocating any products, but what makes this all work, I think, is this tiller here. If I had to do this by hand, it would be a 2 or 3 day job. But it's funny, some of these tools, like that tool especially, I've just learned having it has really helped me out and like being more efficient and being able to do things in a single day. And I have a couple other tools like that too. So all right, why don't we get to it? Patch 1, I fenced it off. I think that these greens had too much shade because the ones outside the fence here that get more direct sun are twice as big. Patch 2, I tried to protect them behind a little fence, but they grew so much that they just grew and pushed my fence up. But these should make for some good stuff right next to the garlic. Patch 3, put these right in a garden box, and I put them in or planted them underneath barley mulch, which I thought didn't have seeds in it, but as you can see, barley straw is pretty hardy. So yeah, that's a thought for next year. This looks like a wild field to me. Still got fruit on the golden nugget tangerine, and that is first 2 weeks into February. So perfect. It's been working really good, but it's been warm too. Okay, that's a wrap for area 2. I know y'all are thinking, why are you leaving so many greens? Well, it's because I got one more patch to do and my wagon's already almost full. And so maybe I'll come back and get these later. This year normally I'd let some go to seed and I'd get the seed off of them. But I have so much seed from last year that I don't need to collect seed this year. So I get a break from doing that. These ones here, my big ones, my really big leaves, 3-hand leaves. Maybe I'll take a plant or two from here. These ones got more sun, and so they just grew huge and they look beautiful and delicious. So okay, final patch. This is one I just threw in randomly in this here, what do you call this thing? Planter. I'm gonna take this whole one out. I think it served its purpose, huh? That's some food for you, one way or another. Clean it up a little bit. Anyway, there's some food for you. What I really planted is right there. That is a potato. Part 2, ended up getting a wagon full. Time for a break, huh? pepper plants have almost made it through the winter on a couple seasons, and I'm hopeful, well, I might put a little work in and see if I can get them to overwinter, and then I'll just have peppers. I need to do some soil amendments and kind of fix that bed over there a little bit, or else I'd leave this one in, because it looks like it made it through the winter pretty good, huh? Which is a first. Yeah, we used to get too cold for that, but the last couple years they've been making it. So I get this plant pretty regularly sprouting up in my beds. To me, it looks like a baby palm tree or something, but I have no idea what it is actually. Anybody else know? I usually just pull them out, but maybe it's something valuable that I should keep. There's another one across the way, right here. And then I get other things. The squirrels regularly plant oak trees here. Okay, last part. I just need to till these two beds here. In case you're wondering, what I hope to do with this bed is when I get it kind of in a better place and get it fixed and everything, I'll till it in and fertilize it and get it back into use. For right now, when I'm ready to, kill out all my ground cover, this is basically barley, and then this is ryegrass right here, which I actually like to use seasonally because it's a winter plant here. I'll use 30% vinegar, so I'll just come spray the whole bed with 30% vinegar. That'll brown out all these plants, and I can actually turn them back into the soil, and they'll act kind of like a little soil aerator and mini compost. And so I'll do that here later in another video. Here we go, all said and done. You see, it doesn't take that long. I know, here's the other bed. I had some mulch from last year. I just leave it on the side, and when I replant, move it back out and reuse it. It usually lasts me 2 seasons, and so that's good. What I found is that people have strong opinions, and sometimes tilling is not considered a good garden habit, but I had to use it here. You know, necessity forced me to use it. I had gotten in, you know, when I initially made these boxes, I had gotten in 6 cubic yards of compost and clay to fill them, and I found out that it was contaminated with wilt, and I couldn't get anything to grow in it. Imagine having these brand new boxes and, you know, 240 square foot of growing space that you couldn't use because of any plant would just wilt and die. And so over time I had to work through that and get these fertile, and a lot of what I did to get them back to where they'll grow and produce healthy plants was to reincorporate soil into them and use some of the older gardening practices. And so it kind of makes sense for New Victory gardening, right? You tie into the past, and every method that has worked to me is a tool. So if you're gardening in raised beds, that's fine, but you know, knowing the principles of growing in the ground and using the soil that's available, it wouldn't hurt, and vice versa. And so that's what I was forced to do here years ago. I think I'll end the video there. It's turning out to be a hot day. Funny, because this is what lulls people in my state. You have a nice string of warm days in February and you think it's time to plant, and so everybody rushes to Home Depot and they buy all these seedlings and they plant them, and when we get that last cold storm of the year, and it freezes everyone's new planted plants and kills them. And so don't get lulled in by that February warmth. If you get a break from cold weather and a storm, it's probably better, unless you have a greenhouse, to wait till March. Yeah, I learned that the hard way a few years in a row. Almost time to plant, almost time for the growing season. I'm excited. Hope you are too. Take care, God bless, and I'll talk to you later.